Are you doing Ironman Cork 70.3 on the 19th of August? If so, this is the video for you because I'm going to do a course recap and also give away something at the end that will really help you on race day. So let's get into it. Because 19th of August, Cork, Youghal County Cork is the place for y'all to be. Okay, as I said, I'm going to go over the course recap. I have done a previous more detailed video, but in terms of that had training, taper, mental advice, all that stuff. This is more condensed. It's some extra hints and tips which I haven't covered before, and sort of very focused on the course itself. So if you want to just do a last minute review a couple of days before the course, come back to this one. It's going to be 10-15 minutes long. I'm going to talk about the webinar I'm going to provide as support, and also I'm going to talk about a cool giveaway I have for subscribers. Please note, so you need to be a subscriber. So if not, hit the subscribe button and you'll really find this useful. I'll tell you at the end, but it's going to help. Okay, who am I, by the way? If you haven't seen many of my videos before, I am Stephen Moody, or Coach Steve to my athletes. I am an Ironman U certified coach, as by the beautiful t-shirt here. I am also a Triathlon Ireland award-winning coach of the year 2017. I have put 50, 60 athletes plus through Cork Full and Cork Half, straight from first-timers, people who do PBs, people who ended up in the World Champs. I've also done a number of training camps then in Cork, so I actually know the course inside out. And you'll get this from the video, but it's one of my favorite courses of the world. As I said, Cork really put itself on the map in this place, and that's not easy coming from a Dublin lad. There's a bit of rivalry there, and you got to give it to Cork in this one, but we will not give them the All-Ireland Championship. Okay, so before I start confusing the American audience a little bit more, let's go straight into the course preview. All right, so this is where your day will start on the 19th of August. As you can see, this is our swim corral giveaway here. As you can see, that lots of triathletes, nervous, happy triathletes. We have the swim corral number here is where I'll talk about that, how you actually seed yourself in terms of the race. And although I couldn't find actually pictures of the cool Irish dancers that kicked off your morning, I've managed to put them in seamlessly via emoji. But this is some of the things that Cork did last year. They had fireworks, they had Irish dancers, they had river dance going on. And if you weren't nervous beforehand or full of energy before the gun went, you were then. What we got going on, as I said, the volunteers helping people in. You've got people in the water. Look at that, absolutely beautiful, pristine Irish water. This is what you have got to look forward to. A couple of guys with neck guards on. That's good. It'll help prevent neck suit rash. I might put that in the comments as well. Okay. Pro tip, by the way, as I said, you will need to walk from transition up to this swim corral, which is roughly a K away. You're on pavement and stuff, but there's a lot of road and tarmac, and you might stand on something. I always nick some hotel slippers or old flip-flops. I'm happy to discard. Just protect your tootsies before you get in there. They have a long old day ahead of them. So the actual swim course, here it is. This is Youghal. You will start off, there's where your swim corral will be. You'll be along the kind of the pier type thing. You will be self-seated. And again, with Ironman, if you're new to Ironman 70.3 races, there's no mass start. What you do is they will tell you to self-seat. So fastest swimmers at the front, and then you blocks of 5 minutes back. So if you were a 30 to 35 minute swimmer, well, that's where you go. And then Ironman, the volunteers will hold you back at the start. You'll go in 3 to 5 people at a time, depending on what the entrance has got lined up. They'll beep every 3 seconds. They pull up their arms. Off you go. Say thank you to them as well. Volunteers need love too. And then you're off. Now, seed yourself correctly. Don't suddenly, if you think you're going to save time by putting yourself in at a 25-minute swimmer, you're not. All you want to do is get yourself in the right corral, because then you'll be with the right level swimmers. That means you have a better chance of drafting, as in swimming beside someone, and they kind of do a little bit of work for you, and avoid stronger swimmers swimming over you. Don't be daft on this one. It is a little rocky on the way in, as I said, so don't belt in, don't sort of sprint in and bang your toe. Again, let's protect those tootsies. And then just get in, waist height, and then dive in. Make sure your goggles are secure, etc. This This is the hardest part of your swim, the first 400 meters, as indicated by the red. Red means bad. There's a bit of extra current, so you have to work a little harder. So it's against the tide. Then you'll turn here. So orange, we're getting better. We're coming to green. A bit of advice here. Go wide at the boys. If you're a nervous swimmer and you're afraid of getting pulled and sort of dunked and all the rest, that typically only happens in a mass start, which we don't have, or when you're coming around a buoy, when everyone sort of converges on the kind of the closest point to the buoy. That's because it's the quickest point from A to B. Go wide. It means you might swim an extra 10, 20 meters each buoy, but do you know what? It means you're nice and safe. No one's going to grab your leg. No one's going to push you down. They don't do it intentionally, but it just happens when they get that close quarters. Nervous, go wide. It's all about keeping your day nice and stress-free. It's an easier swim in, and as you can see, that's a lot longer. So as I said, the current will be pushing you in this way, and that, which is brilliant. And that kind of again, in terms of your own swim stroke, glide a little bit more and try to really exaggerate your extension and sort of try to get as much from the tide as possible. Other swim tips: sight draft as much as possible. Sighting is when you pop your head out of the water just gently to see where you're going, as in obviously you're not going to be staring down the bottom of the sea all the time. And you just look for, you fix on an animate stationary object which you can aim at. That means you're going straight and you're not zigzagging and adding on unnecessary distance. In terms of sighting points, you are swimming parallel to the beach when you're heading up. So I would go with that, lads. As long as you're not getting closer to the beach or going too far away, it means you're in the right general direction. Failing that, there are kind of some brightly colored hotels and buildings up this way, which you can use as sighting points. Second sighting point is going to be your turning buoy. Again, it won't be too hard to miss. Typically a big red orangey one that they use in IRONMAN. On the way down, you will see this kind of a big tree in this outcrop here. Aim for that. Then, as I said, don't turn and try to cut as close as possible to the outcrop here. There will be rocks here, so steer clear of them. But what you want to do is sort of get around the corner, and then your next final sighting point is actually transition itself. There's a big yellow building or yellow houses or flats behind it. Hard to miss. And just shoot through there. IRONMAN also have these little mini buoys as well. So aim through the middle of them and you're on the home stretch. You will get down to there, and there is a concrete ramp on the way up. Take your time going up that ramp. As I said, when you remember, you've been swimming now for half an hour plus, and you've been horizontal, and then if you suddenly jump up, all the blood will go down, and you'll get those jelly legs, and you can actually get faint if it's very dramatic. Take your time, let the volunteers help you up, gently jog into transition and into the changing tent, and then you have got the swim in the bag and you are up and running. Well, up and cycling. IRONMAN transitions, or 70.3 transitions as well, are very specific. It's not like your local triathlon where you set your bike up in a rack and then you put the shoes and your hat and everything. You actually have to use actual transition bags, where there's a red, blue, and white bag. All sounds very confusing, but I have a very simple video which I put in the the comments below, which you'll click and take you through it. It shows you what bags are used when, what to go in them, how to use them, etc., and all the rest. It's a nice little video, and hopefully it'll help you. By the way, actually, if you are finding this useful, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button. And remember, there is a very cool giveaway for subscribers at the end of this video. And like it, please, always good to get a little like, a little bit of love, as well as creator coaches want in life. The bike course. This is going to be an absolute epic ride. It's one loop of Youghal and Cork. So I'm going to talk through I'm going to add in what the aid stations are and kind of a recap of what my previous race preview when I talked about the road surfaces and key climbs of note. First 10K out of Youghal are here. The surface is nice, nothing really to write home on. It's a nice way to ease into the race. Make sure you get a bit of fuel on board. You will be hungry after your swim time. There is a minor climb, and I'll put the climbs on later on, at around 17K, but that's the first kind of rude awakening for you in the day. There are more to come, but it's just be aware of it. Gear down, you don't need to, get out of the saddle or anything like that. You should be fine. Your first aid station then is at the 22 K mark. Make sure you get some fuel and some liquids again if you haven't got enough with you for the day. Now, the next main part to speak of is between 35 and 40 kilometers, and there's no other way of saying this. Sorry, Cork and y'all, this is shit road, and it really is bad. And look, hats off to the Cork County Council and the race organisers. They do a great job of going around and fixing a lot of the major potholes. I know they do great work with this, but this road is just in shit, and it would have to be resurfaced from start to finish. But so just hang on to your fillings and your bottles, because you're probably going to lose a couple of one or the other. The good news is, after we're past that, we were rewarded with my favorite part of the course. Is in 40 to 50K. It is the smoothest part of the course. It is flat. It's fast. It's TT aero bar time all day long. And it's just really enjoy that part of the course. Up to Middleton, when we go through that, there's some rumble strips there, just to be aware of them. Again, a bit of juddering, but nothing overly shocking. But yeah, you will pick up your second aid station there. And then this is one of the more difficult part of the course is from Middleton out. There's an 8-kilometer kind of gradual climb for around 3 to 4% gradient, where it seems relentless. It's not a massive, sharp, hurting climb, but it means it just seems a bit undulating. We'll get through that. Then the rest of the course is no other huge climbs to write home about. There is a bad enough corner at 73 kilometers, so just keep an eye out for that. Then the other aid station is at 75. Do fuel up at this aid station, because you're sort of going, oh no, I've done most of the bike. But remember, on your bike, you're fueling for the run at the same time. So get on board those carbs, get on board, get those glycogen levels up. You're going to need it. The last 15K in it's more rolly than most people realize. There's no sharp, stingy hills, but it is up and down, so it's hard to get into a rhythm. But just expect that. The road surface is okay. There are parts that have that old classic, the green part in the middle of the road, which is kind of a feature of Irish country roads. Again, just be situationally aware, watch where you're going, be aware of other riders overtaking you, etc. And then, of course, when you roll into y'all and you think it's all done and it's all groovy. Nope, there's something they're coming. It's the big elephant in the room. It's Windmill Hill, and we'll talk about that specifically in the next slide. So just to recap, the climbs are at 17K, little minor climb. There's the long drag from Middleton for the 8K. Then there's the last 15K of rolling hills. And there's the big boy at the end. We have got Windmill Hill. Yes, deliberately put in that emoji twice as big. Okay, so Windmill Hill, what's it all about? By the way, pro tip, and this is something that's key for Windmill Hill. You will not come in of it like a rocket and sort of go, right, I'm just going to get myself up to 35K an hour, and I'm just going to scoot right up this and I'll be up. You come in from a laneway, so it's a narrow laneway, but you will hear Windmill Hill over there. You hear the crowds, and your hairs in the back of your neck will stand up, and you go like, oh, I'm looking forward to this, but not so much looking forward to this. This is the time you get out, you gear down and prepare for it. Also, get rid of water bottles. You do not need carrying any extra weight going up this. So drink it, ditch it, whatever you need. Just get it off your bike, and don't chuck the bottles. Just empty them. You can only throw away bottles at trash stations, by the way, in Ironman races. Otherwise, you risk a DQ. Don't get DQ for something silly like that. But just empty the water bottles. And then, as I said, just get into the right gear. Low is good. And here she is. She, as you can see, it is an absolute party. There are thousands of people lining the streets. They are giving it absolute socks. They want you up that hill, and you want up that hill. But there's two ways of going up it. If you are not a strong climber, if you always struggle on even minor hills, the decision is kind of made for you. Get off and walk up the hill. Because as you see, you don't have any option to kind of weave. It's really narrow. There's lots of cyclists on there, and you do not want to clip a bike and actually come off and bang your knee. It was a bruised knee and a half marathon is a disaster. but make that call. And do not worry, lots of people walked up. Some of the pros walked up in the second lap of the Ironman last year. You will get equal cheers. Everyone knows you are having a long day, and this is just one part of it. Even if you are a strong climber, recognize that it's around 400 meters, but it slowly ramps up and it ends up to the point where it just really bites, and it peaks at around 20 to 22% gradient for around 50 to 100 meters. It is a beast. You will be out of the saddle. You will be grinding out of pedals. You will be gritting your teeth, but you will be moving forward. Feed on the crowd energy. Look at them. They are dying to get you up that hill. And no matter what way, if you're walking, if you're climbing, you will go up that hill with a rocket, surfing on that crowd energy, and you will have a superb day. But that's only 2/3 of it. So the Cork Run. So we've got our Cork Run. And again, by the way, great advice, the thought for Windmill Hill. That's a little bit of a like there. Thank you very much. You are very generous. Cork Run course. It's 2 laps, so it's what's called a 5k up, 5k down. There's a bit of a dog leg that adds up to the 1.1 kilometer. So you're not doing 20k. You are doing a full half marathon. For anyone doing a half marathon, I kind of give them the same advice, especially for their first 70.3 or. The first one, you're feeling like a rock star. You've still got the adrenaline kicking in from, was it Windmill Hill? And you sort of, yeah, I can nail this. I am off like a rocket. And you're going, no. Whoa there, Kanto. You've got to hold yourself back. You do not want to go too hard into what's going to be a long, long run. So conserve yourself. Almost feel like, oh no, I'm actually holding myself back. No, this is too easy. That's good. Too easy at the start is good, because later on you will need that every ounce of energy and every little muscle to work. Second, 7k, 7 to 14, get into that rhythm, hit that race pace you want. This would have been stuff you would have practiced in your long runs, so your bricks off the bike, etc. Get onto it, sort of start pushing again. And by the way, fuel every single time. There are aid stations every 2.5 kilometers or so, so you do not miss an aid station. You take on board fuel, you take on board liquid. You put, if it's hot, water over your head, keep your core temperature down. The third, what's it, 14 to 21k. This is where it's really going to suck. And this is where you see a lot of people walking. Beat it into your head. This is only 7 kilometers. This is not even a recovery run. I mean, I wouldn't even do this distance at home. Push yourself home. Think about the finish line. Visualize. Talk to yourself with your mantras and all the rest. Visualize the finish line. Get home. As I said, fueling is key. Hopefully you will be taking on board a lot of fuel during the actual race. On the bike, so you're actually just topping up. If not, pull into those aid stations, get on board that fuel. Thank a volunteer. It's very important. These people are giving up their time for nothing. Here are where our aid stations are, our little happy ET heads. And that's your race for the day. You will come up the finish line and it will be a superb day. You will have very much earned your medal, which looks really cool. And I hope that it turns out well. But we're all a little bit nervous, aren't we? So I want a little edge. So how does this sound like? How about a document that outlines kind of all the key things I've discussed here, that you can write down additional information, where your bike is racked, what's your reference point you're going to run into, as in where to find it, where's your reference point coming into T2 to drop it off. What's your target heart rate zone? What was your kind of target watts and all that? Little maps that you can literally sit down and read over the night before and reduce nerves. That sounds absolutely awesome and sounds fantastic. That's a race strategy document, and that's something I normally sell, but I am going to give away to everyone in the audience. Well, a little bit low. I'm only going to give away to subscribers, because, as I said, as much as I love you guys, the Cork guys, I am trying to grow my YouTube channel, and this is where I need you to help me out a little. But I am more than happy to give away this super value added edge that will give you a little bit of help on the race day. And why do I say this? As I said, as last time I said, over 1,100 people viewed my video or something, and it was cool. Then I had a look, as only like less than 30% of your subscribers, which makes me sad. But as I said, this is good, because this is where we can work it out. So anyone who's a subscriber, all you have to do is email me and I'll give you that race strategy document. And the sections that you fill out, I'll answer questions on that in the webinar, or I'll give a bit of guidance as well. Because they're obviously, those target zones and paces are very individual. But for those They're sitting on the fence. Let's dangle this as a carrot. If you subscribe to me, as I said, when you do, send me a script, and I have trust issues. I thought we were so close, and 70% you hadn't even subscribed. So if you want this race strategy document, even if you subscribed already, just drop me an email to info@smartinsuranceSolutions.com and give me a screenshot of this, because this shows you are subscribed. Yeah. Anyhow, it just shows, and then we'll be besties again, and that's it. Oh no, it's not. I've got a little bit more to give, and again, I'm going to do a webinar on Sunday the 13th of August at 8 p.m. Irish Standard Time. You can register in the link below. It means that you'll get reminder emails that put it in your calendar. It'll be on YouTube, and I'm hoping to get as many people on as possible, and I'm going to answer any questions you guys have. I'm initially allocating an hour to this, but if there's people there with questions, I will hold on until they're all answered. And I can say that kind of I've done this before. Typically, everyone's asking the same question. So someone will ask about, well, what do I do? A short sleeve or a long sleeve wetsuit? And I'll answer that question. Or what about a road bike, a TT bike? I'll answer that. What about Bonk on the Run? Well, I do that. What equipment? What should I wear on race day? I can answer that. So typically, even if we do get loads of people, I can't imagine it being longer than 90 minutes. But please do register. And if you've got questions, ping them in an email in advance, and therefore I'll be able to do prep work and make sure you get your questions beforehand. And it would be absolutely awesome to see loads of you there. I kind of adopted you as my little tribe. So I want my little tribe to have a super race day. The race strategy document to help, so will this webinar. So please take advantage. I am also going to do a couple of other videos on tapering and also a final kind of checklist that you should pack and all the rest. So again, keep an eye out. But otherwise, as I said, let's come and have a little chat on the 13th. So guys, enjoy your very few last days of training leading up to taper. I hope everyone's doing very well, and I hope to see as many of you as possible on the 13th. Have a super day.